All right, enough Champions League final for the next 12 months. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Jules, we knew that Zinedine Zidane would eventually give us his reasons for leaving Real Madrid. Now he has, and it was pretty much what we expected and what I wrote in my excellent column on the website.
Yeah, you're right. He wrote a letter to the fans, and the one really that I think, well, certainly the most important for me is the one that he didn't feel the support from the club, the backing, and you can say, oh...
And he went specific on that.
Yeah.
Those leaks that if he loses these games, he's going to be sacked and so on.
But he's been there 20 years. So I think what's really key here is that he knows how he works. Of course he knows. He's a very intelligent guy. He knows he's been there before. But I think it shows you that there's a point where this is too much. Even for someone like him. Even for Zinedine Zidane, who is so strong mentally and everything, but even to him, they got to a point where he'd had enough. He's like, come on, please, let me work, let me do this. And yeah, it's the same thing, and it will never change. I don't think it will ever change. With another chairman, another president, whatever club in Spain, that's what they do. But I think he shows you that he can get too much.
Can I turn this around and take his words as a W for our profession? Because when Zidane comes out and says, oh, and then I pick up the papers and I read that I'm going to be sacked if I lose to Gladbach, if this and that happens, he doesn't take it as just paper talk. He doesn't take it as just paper speculation. He knows that those people who write for those papers in Madrid are doing their job. He takes that seriously, and he knows that that is information that they are getting from the club.
Exactly.
So, no, I don't want to hear about people who always just rubbish like the papers and the media. Yeah, there's a lot of people in our profession who write a lot of nonsense, and some even make things up. And worst of all are the people who are very credulous about what people tell them. But in this case, if Zinedine Zidane, who knows the Madrid media, if he took those seriously, it means that those guys are doing their job seriously, and he has a point vis-a-vis the club.
I mean, on the other hand, if you're a Juventus manager and you hear your sporting director, Fabio Paratici, is saying, yeah, he will be there next season, don't worry. You know that it's not true and that you're going to be sacked very soon. So who's going to replace Zizou at Real Madrid, Gab? 3 names for you: Antonio Conte, Mauricio Pochettino, although, and Raul. Or is there someone else that you could think of or that you know of?
Look, I said this before, I've been on the record. I don't think Antonio Conte makes sense for Real Madrid at this moment in time. People are going to bring out, I was on the show with my friend Phil Kitromolidis, and he's saying, well, no, but a lot of people, actually, Real Madrid fans would love a Conte because they see him like Mourinho. Yeah, big difference. When Mourinho took over in 2000, many differences between the two, but when Mourinho took over in 2010, a year earlier, Real Madrid had the biggest, the greatest summer transfer campaign in history, signing Cristiano Ronaldo and Xabi Alonso and Benzema and Kaká and whatever else, right? So he had a ton of raw material to work with. Conte now wouldn't have that, and the 900 million in debt. So come on, man. Pochettino, I don't know. I think if I were Poch and Real Madrid call, sorry, Paris Saint-Germain, I'd figure out a way to get over there. Raul's on standby. Standby. You're buying time until then you call Zizou again.
Yeah.
I would assume they're thinking somebody else. It's just a gut feeling. There must be somebody else.
Yeah, there must be.
Sticking with Real Madrid, the David Alaba deal is done. Jules, he's going to make nearly $150 million over the next 5 years. Again, off the top of my head, central defenders who make more than what he's going to earn, I can't think of any right now. No. It's a big commitment for a guy who turns 29 in the summer. But we love him. We love him. It's nothing to do with him. No,
you and I would have taken the money. Everybody would have taken that money off it. But if you're Real Madrid, like how, when, where, why do you think this is a good idea to offer that? I mean, I think the offer so this is 25 million gross a year. I think the offer from Bayern Munich to keep him was 16 million a year gross as well. So they offered him 9 million a year more than what Bayern were offering him. And then you wonder why Real Madrid and Barcelona and clubs like that are in debt.
I mean, I think, all right, I'm going to defend Real Madrid here and be Mr. Contrarian.
Yeah.
First of all, and I'm also going to give you a free fact that we learned from our friend Kay Murray. First of all, David Alaba's mom is a former Miss Philippines, and David Alaba's dad is a Nigerian prince, which I think is really, really cool.
Okay, so is that why he got offered so much money?
I'm going to assume they're cooler parents than
give me your point then to
Sergio Ramos
with Real Madrid.
No, but I think the point is, if you don't extend Sergio Ramos' contract, then you put him in Sergio's salary slot. If he then goes and extends Sergio Ramos as well, which I don't think he's going to do, but if he does...
This is not Sergio Ramos' slot either. This is more money than what Sergio Ramos was earning.
It's not far off. I think it's in the same ballpark. But you could see the logic there a little bit. If not,
I don't know. Let's not forget the signing on fee as well, and the agent commission.
And on top of Gareth Bale still there.
Meanwhile, Max Allegri is officially back at Juventus 2 years after being sacked. Gab, before we talk about him, do you have a kind word to say about Andrea Pirlo?
Yeah, look, he went in, he tried. I think he had a good plan. His plan, he wasn't able to get it across to his players. Not everybody is suited to managing at that level when it's your first job.
Yeah.
What I think we're really interested in is which Max Allegri are we getting? Max Allegri is not wed necessarily to the football that we saw at the end of his tenure at Juventus, which, by the way, was very successful in terms of results.
Yeah.
Max Allegri isn't the kind of guy who, even though he has done this, who goes in a post-game press conference and says like, stop talking about tactics. It's not about tactics. It's like in the NBA, at the end of the game, you just pass the ball to your best player and wait for him to do something. Like, that's not Max Allegri either. He's said that. He's a pragmatic. I'm really curious. I hope he moves forward with Pirlo's idea and that direction of travel.
Yeah.
But the early indications for Juve are that Allegri wants to keep both Paulo Dybala and Alvaro Morata, although he's open to Cristiano moving on if that's what Cristiano wants. Does this make sense to you? Dybala's deal is up in 2022, so you have to re-sign him. And Morata would cost you 10 million to renew his loan at Atletico.
Yeah, I mean, if he likes Morata's profile, how much would it cost you to, if you let him go, to sign another one like him?
40 million.
Probably.
You could sign Morata for 40 million.
It makes sense. I think Allegri knows that there's not much money for recruitment this summer anyway, unless you let someone like Cristiano go and then that money that you save, you could reinvest it, which I think would be very clever. And for Dybala has had some really good years with Allegri at Juventus, so he knows how to use him. He knows how to get the best of him, so it makes sense that he wants to keep him as well. And then you can always talk contract, negotiation, and things like that. Giorgio Donnarumma is out there on the market now that he's leaving Milan, and there are reports that his agent Mino Raiola will now need to offer a discount. Gab, we called it. You certainly called it.
Yeah, as I said, like, this is me applauding Milan for sticking to their guns, saying, okay, we think you're worth this much, we offer you this much. The minute they did that, the minute Milan are out of the picture, all of a sudden the power dynamic changes.
Yeah.
Mino Raiola has to find a team, because whatever agreement in principle, whether it's Juve or somewhere else, now they say, hey, look, you're going to go to the Euros and it's going to say unattached next to your name. Let's make a deal. You take less money, less commission for you, Mino. My understanding is he's already gone back to Milan and said, hey, can we negotiate here? I know you signed Mike Maignan. And for now, Milan, I think, aren't going to budge. But later on, who knows? If you're Milan, if you can have both Maignan and Gigio, I know they can't both play at the same time. But
why not? Yeah, I guess.
Leave Mike in the league for a season on loan, let him play in the Champions League, and then sell him, if that's what you want to do. Or sell Donnarumma a year from now. Who knows?
Sometimes you bluff and you don't always win.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.